In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to configure port security. So port security is a layer 2 concept, and what it does is each host is assigned a physical MAC address, and when you configure port security on a switch interface, what happens is the switch itself will remember that MAC address and associate it with each host, and you can also specify the number of MAC addresses that are permitted per each port. So provide security at the MAC address level so that when another host attempts to use that port with a different MAC address, it's denied. Or in the case where you've only got you're only permitting only one MAC address to associate with the port, and when any more than one try attempts to use that port, that's denied as well. So it provides a layer 2 security. So it's easy enough to configure. I'll start with switch 1. I'll configure port security on both switch ports. So we'll go to the command line interface. I'll just enable. And so I'll start configure terminal. So I have to go to each interface. So I'm going to start with host 1, and that's FA01. So I'll go interface FA01. Get the interface correct. So there it is there. And so what happens is on the interface I'm going to assign it to VLAN 10. I'm going to enable port security. Then I'm going to configure this MAC address sticky. And what that does is that last command, port security MAC address sticky, what it does is it tells the switch to remember the MAC address, and it even configures it in the running configuration, and actually save it to the startup configuration. So when you restart the device, that MAC address is remembered for that port associates with it, and that's kind of where you get the security from. So it's dynamically learned and then added to the configuration script. So what I'm going to do, the first command I'm going to do is just configure the port with a VLAN. And that's easy enough. Just switch port mode access. And switch port access, and I'm going to assign it to VLAN 10. And it just created VLAN 10 as well. The next thing is just to enable port security. So that's just switch port security. So that's that command. Then I'm going to paste in the last command, switch port security MAC address sticky. And there it is there. I want to go to 1.1, interface 1.1, and do the same thing. That's connected to host 2. And I want to do the same thing. I'm going to assign it to as an access port. I'm going to assign it to VLAN 10 as well. I don't have to, but I can do that. And the next thing I'm going to do is just enable port security. So that's just that port security single command, switch port security, and then also the MAC address sticky command. And there it is there. So what I'll do is I'm just going to look at my running configuration, make sure it's okay. And everything looks fine there. They're both configured. So what I'm going to do now is on 0.1 I'm going to add a switch port security maximum 2. And I'm going to tell it to only allow, or actually allow more than one, to allow 2 MAC addresses, or 2 devices on a single port. So that's on 0.1. So in interface FA01, and that's host 1. So I'm going to add this second command here. Switch port security maximum 2 MAC addresses. And that's configured. What that does is that allows host 1 and something else with a MAC address to access that switch port 0.1. So now I want to verify it. And so I'm going to use show port security interface in the specific interface. So I'm just going to paste this in here, and it gives me a lot of information here actually. So the port security status is enabled, good. Port status is secure and up, and the violation mode is just it's a mode command that tells what to do when there's a violation. It just shuts down the port. There's aging time. Maximum addresses is 2 on this, not 1. The default is 1, and so everything looks fine there. I'll do the same thing with the other interface. That would be actually, what is that interface? It's going to be 1.1. So the same thing, it's enabled, it's secure and up. Shutdown is the violation mode, how it's set, and what it does if there's a violation. And everything else is fine. There's only a maximum of 1 MAC address that's permitted as well. And so it's working fine. And that just verifies that port security is configured correctly. And that concludes port security.